Oh, yeah.
Politics, more like politricks with your polipricks.
Oh, yeah.
Politics with your polipricks.
What up? We're back.
Back.
We're back, baby. Although we're not, we're Lou Perez-less. I think Ice got him. He's but you know what? You make an omelet, gotta break some eggs.
It's on the last name.
It's like I always
Perez. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I don't know what Lou's up to. It's funny because we were supposed to do the show yesterday, and then we're like, let's move it, and Lou didn't respond. And I'm like, well, I guess he also would have been on the show yesterday then, since he responded at like 8 p.m. last night that he's not going to make it. So anyway,
well, I'm going to assume he's still shoveling snow. That's what he said last time. So
he's just still buried. He's frozen like Jack Nicholson in the Shining. He's just in a garden somewhere with icicles coming out of his nose. Well, welcome to the show, guys. It's me, Brian McWilliams. It's John Odermatt and Brian Nichols. We got some funny things to talk about today. And the first thing I want to talk about is obviously, we could get a little bit into what's going on with Ice and this Alex Pretti situation, or Pretty. Do you guys know how it's pronounced? Pretty?
I think it's pretty.
I would guess pretty. I've never heard anyone say it.
Me neither. Yeah.
I just read stuff, but
I as well. You see, my natural inclination would just say Pretti because the way it's spelled, but still, he is, obviously dead. And there was first it came out and people were like, well, he deserved because he pulled a gun. And then it's like, okay, he didn't pull a gun. The officer pulled the gun and it fired. And as I was talking about on Mean Age Daydream this week, that Sig Sauer that apparently he was carrying is the one known.
Sig Sauer, if we're gonna say it.
Sig Sauer. I'm sorry. I also don't say that out loud. I read. So Sig Sauer, like the kraut. Yeah. So the kraut gun apparently
it's a German gun. So
yeah, German gun.
There you
go. The Germans. So they pull it out and apparently the officer drops it or something. It misfires is the story now, and that gun has been known to do that. And then they shoot him. And what I had said in the situation is, okay, there's a couple things to talk about here. And then and also the video came out later of him, kicking ICE vehicles and spitting on him and being just insanely antagonistic. Two things can be true. One, guy shouldn't have been shot, right? Because he did not pull a gun on them and, did not, as far as we know, physically assault these people. So probably not good that he was shot on the ground. But at the same time, the other thing that's true is the guy clearly is looking for confrontation. He's putting himself in a position of danger intentionally and being highly antagonistic to try to get a response from ICE. So, I have a hard time having a lot of sympathy for the guy, and I can have sympathy and say ICE can be acting differently, right? And that maybe their approach is something that Americans would rather not be as aggressive as it is. But at the same time, what are you supposed to do in that situation? When you've got these trained activists trying to create a situation where this is the outcome that's almost inevitable.
I know this is the most like anti-libertarian take, right? But I'm so done with the useful idiot approach that we've seen to this situation where a lot of folks just they almost pretend like they can't understand the context of everything that's going into this. People are trying to make it very black and white, and it's not, right? Right. We have to just start here. I hate this knee-jerk libertarian instinct to just immediately assume that government will always be the wrong person, no matter what, right? Factors and such be damned. And this is the part, as a sales guy, I always think we need to be prescriptive and understand how we got to where we are before we recommend a solution. And to your point, Brian, this isn't just somebody standing with a sign protesting. And I hate the fact that people keep on using this verbiage that he was just protesting. He wasn't. He was actively engaged in trying to disrupt a law enforcement activity. This is not an argument of the merit around the activity, but you can't put yourself in that situation and not expect something to happen. And this is the part I don't know where people are losing rational thought. Like, if you put yourself into a situation where you are in like close proximity to armed federal agents who are actively in the process of arresting illegal aliens, and you're getting physically involved with them, you are 100% putting yourself at risk for something negative, like physically violent to happen. And like the fact that we're acting surprised, and then to see folks using the verbiage that he's just protesting, it is gaslighting. And it doesn't matter what his politics were. Like, I know people are like, oh, he's a communist, like whatever. It doesn't matter. No, I don't care about his politics. It's a tragedy somebody died. But we also have to look at how did he put himself into this situation where this is an outcome. And this is an inevitable outcome. Like, don't be an idiot. Don't play stupid games. Like, go protest. Go. Petition your local government or your government rather to change the laws if you think this is a bad thing. Vocally stand, but don't get involved physically with law enforcement activities and then be surprised when they turn the gun on you. Like, I'm sorry, like that's just common sense. And where is that gone?
Yeah, I think I agree with pretty much everything you said. The only thing I would add to it is I think the politics do matter somewhat, not necessarily to the event as it occurred, like you summed up there, but like downstream from it. I mean, because ultimately these communists, these Marxist disruptors who are disrupting, immigration enforcement, they're doing it for a reason, and they're looking for sympathy. They're looking to put themselves in harm's way. Like a violent act against them, a murder against them, is the outcome they are looking for. Another Rachel Good, another Alex Pretti. Yeah, yes, exactly. 100%. Exactly. So to that degree, we do have to talk about the politics. And the thing that it really concerns me is, and I've seen this from multiple libertarian influencers on Twitter and on Facebook, who are holding up this guy as a hero. I can't talk either. A hero. As a hero.
I believe it's pronounced gyro, and it's delicious.
Now I'm going to get hungry. Okay. For, standing up to federal agents, for putting himself, for putting his life at risk. And what I would say to that is you better be damn careful, because the words you are using could be motivating other people who have families, who have value in life to other people around them, who have a lot of people who love them. Your words, your content, what you're saying on the sidelines could drive someone into action to create another one of these tragedies, another loss of life. And you better damn well be ready to own up to it, because I am going to hold you accountable for it if it happens again.
Yeah, exactly, man. And talking about gaslighting. So this is the funny thing. This is why I titled the episode "Prettying Up Pretty," because the holding this man up as some sort of saint, all these aims, left-wing fucknuts and the Elizabeth Warrens of the world and Bruce Springsteen, who we'll talk about later, and MSNBC for that matter, are like, well, this guy was just a kind-hearted nurse. And it's like, the fuck he was. No, he wasn't. He was an activist. He was out there being antagonistic, being violent. Don't hold him up as some sort of saint, because he wasn't. And we're seeing the comedy of this, and I'll play this Joe Rogan bit. The comedy of this is how blatant the manipulation is and the gaslighting is from the media when it comes to these things, because this guy was a pasty, thin, arguably unattractive man, and yet the treatment he's gotten, either using straight up Photoshop or using AI to turn him from this pasty and we were joking the de-Jewification of Alex Pretti, because he looks way more Jewish, as people would say, in the original photo as opposed to what MSNBC has done to him. So let me share my screen here and show you Joe Rogan's breakdown, because Joe Rogan also makes a pretty good comparison here insofar as the way in which the media portrayed him during COVID, when he was saying, hey, ivermectin works, I'm taking it. And then they, he's taking horse paste. It's not meant for that. It's just the most blatant lies, and also how they manipulated his image. So let me enlarge and big in my screen because the largest stream
In
begins
Biggins,
us
is that
all.
the word you just said?
Yeah, it's from The Simpsons. It's their phrase. A great man embiggens us all. It's like their town phrase. All right, so let me play this clip. And for those of you watching along, he's talking about how MSNBC has completely edited this Alex Pretti thing, and he'll describe what they've done to him. It's crazy.
Yeah, they gussied
Basically
it up.
did the opposite of what CNN did to me. You know, CNN during the COVID times turned me green,
Mhm.
and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome.
Yeah.
So people would be more sympathetic to
Of
him
course.
getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable.
That is crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like.
Yep.
They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah.
A little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They shrunk his nose,
Yeah.
gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like
Better teeth.
an
They even
American.
made him. If you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
a little bit. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one on the right looks like he's a little plumper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed the tone of the color. Wild. I mean, they changed his fucking teeth, man.
Communist News
Look, they
Network.
gave him veneers.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in his teeth. He's a much more handsome guy. Like that one on the right is like the handsome brother, and the one on the left is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I look
Yeah,
like
the
my
one on the
goddamn
right.
brother?
Yeah, the one on the right. They were twins, and he took more of the protein.
Right.
Right. That was what happened.
So there you go. I mean, it is blatantly obvious. I mean, my God, when you're literally changing the bone structure of the guy, changing the muscular structure of the man, like they said, they shortened his nose and widened it to make him look more genteel. Like that guy, they turned a 3, a male you'd rate as a 3, into a man you'd rate as probably a 7.
Did you see the thing I shared?
Oh, God, I'll share it right now. Here you go.
Oh man.
Exactly. So if you're just listening, it's a on the top, it's like how the work rules, and it's Alex Pretti coming in with a full head of hair, Chad jaw, looking great, going, looking good, Susan, to the nurse, and he says that's appropriate, and then she calls human resources when it's more the version that the real life version. Looking good, Susan. I mean, it's unbelievable, and thank God for the internet to immediately go, this is bullshit.
Yeah, but
'Cause it
the
would've
thing
gone
is though,
yes.
like MSNBC, they know what they're doing. Like it's just intended for their audience, which isn't going to go mostly on, isn't going to encounter that juxtaposition of two images next to each other. So they don't care.
No.
It fits their narrative.
Well, and they would have gotten away with it too, were it not for your point, Brian, the pesky internet. Like this is, and this always, when you see stuff like this is what feeds conspiracy theories, right? Because they say they're doing this today when we have the internet. What were they doing 20, 30, 40 years ago? And we're getting away with it because nobody was able to fact check them in real time, right? Like it was just accepted as truth. And like, this kind of goes back to whenever I argue with my boomer family, I'm just like, this whole nostalgia to it, this world of yesteryear where like Walter Cronkite was world's most trusted man in news. It's like, that was fake. I'm sorry. Like that was all make believe. And that is something that they refuse to acknowledge, that the world that they grew up in was very much a curated world. And we're seeing kind of the dying remnants of that in the way that they're still trying to cover these stories up. And I think it really started to become obvious during COVID, where your average person was like, wait, what the fuck did they just say? Like that doesn't make sense. I have to stay 6 feet away from people, but then like they're doing this thing where they're putting like an outdoors indoors, but the outdoors is now outdoors. It was all goofball, right? I wear a mask when you stand up, but when you sit down at the restaurant, you're okay. Like,
and if you go to a concert and you get your shot, you can sit up front, but if you don't, you got to sit in the back.
Right. And then they the thing they did with Joe Rogan, right? Like all this led to people being like, yo, something's up. They're not telling us the truth. And like, this is the last dying breath of a media that's on the way out.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it just is such a fundamentally despicable thing to do too.
Right.
It's like you're supposed to report the news, to adjust a picture in that manner, knowing that subconsciously or consciously, people are going to go, oh, you mean like the whole Joe Rogan thing, making him green intentionally, just underhanded, despicable. That it showcases exactly the type of people that you're supposed to be trusting, and how they're more than happy to completely manipulate you. Awful. All right, next up, let's talk about Zoran Mamdani, who, of course, is driving away people, just like California is driving away people, and promised the world, right? All of these idiot New Yorkers that don't know anything and apparently have no historical context were taken in by this fucking commie con man, a comm man. And predictably, things have already started to turn sour. Predictably, none of the things that he promised, number one, he can't do them. And number two, New York City is already in a deficit from all the crap and welfare programs and all the other spending, and all the MTA runs at a massive deficit already. And here he is, though, making excuses already. And what has he been in office? Like
A week?
2 months? At most, not even? Yeah, not even. Here's Zoran Mamdani talking about New York's budget deficit and clearly trying to push the blame for his future failure on the mayors of the past.
I think he actually came into office on midnight, January 1st. That's how New York City does it, which is kind of insane.
That is really odd. All right, so here he is talking about the budget deficit.
You got to pull it up on the and share it. You forgot that part.
God,
Goofball.
I hate StreamYard because on my screen it says it's sharing, and it's just they changed it, and I don't know why they changed it. It's so obnoxious.
To piss you
Apologies.
off. That's why.
God, it makes me so angry.
The issue is that many New Yorkers, myself included, we assumed that there was going to be some kind of a fiscal deficit. The issue is that the scale of this deficit, it dwarfs the Great Recession.
Right.
That's what we're talking about at hand. And what's so hard to come to terms with is that we had not seen any indications from the prior administration that they were looking at this on the other side. This was something that they kept pushing off until it wasn't their problem. It is, however, New York City's, and we're going to resolve it.
Thoughts?
So he didn't know that New York City was in a massive deficit when he ran for mayor? Really? He just thought everything was
not on the
peaches
city
and,
council.
like,
I knew it, and I'm in Los Angeles.
So I'm from New York, not New York City, but New York State. New York State is notoriously one of the most corrupt states in politics. And I mean, I go back to the days in the New York State Assembly, like Sheldon Silver, who is currently in jail. He was he was more or less like the Nancy Pelosi of New York State politics. But he actually got caught, right? And I mean, just talk about like pay to play. And you see a lot of that is also true in New York City. And I think it's one of those things where Zoran, he knew, but he was kind of in, I don't say denial. It was just more of I need to get into office. And then the reality of like the art of the deal, like you actually have to pay, like you actually have to, what's Trump saying? The art of the deal, you have to show the goods or like come up with the goods. And I think he's kind of coming to that like realization that even with his idealism, there are fundamental realities of both New York State and New York City politics that he will not be able to get over, along with the financial realities, right? He's cooked. Right. Like, and this is what we were talking about months ago when he won the election. Like, what do we do, New York City? You just elected a commie and now you're going to pay for it. And he's completely like uneducated about the actual issues and state of the city before he was elected. I find that hard to believe. I don't know. You never know. He might be that uneducated.
Well, to your point,
I find it hard to believe, but it looks authentic. He looks like he's really surprised. So
he was on the city council.
Yeah,
how do you not know? If you're on the city council, that there's a budget deficit. Like I said, everybody else knows. It's been a common knowledge thing that they're in deficit. And also, let's not forget they went in an even deeper deficit because they just spent billions and billions housing illegal immigrants the last year.
But that's why I feel like he just said that shit before to get elected. Like he must have known.
Absolutely.
There's no way. Like, let me ask you guys this: do you think these commies actually like they fundamentally believe that they can make these things work? That these utopian ideas they have, like he is kind of like the use case, right? Exactly. Like, there's no way he actually believes this.
No, I don't think he believes a single word of what he said. I think this is the plan all along. He's just, like I said, he's a con man. He's a con man, and people are stupid, especially people that are liberal or extra stupid. Apologies to our liberal listeners. I'm sure there's tons of. Believing in pie in the sky utopian crap is something that low IQ, low education people do. Yeah, and that's it. And that was his base. That's who voted for him. You know, and people that, and I'm not even saying like low education as far as you didn't go to college. Low education, like you don't know anything outside of your bubble. Like you are uneducated in the actual outcomes and realities when these are put into place. There are a million examples. It's just like the minimum wage laws going on right now. Mm-hmm. There's a minimum wage, a federal minimum wage that they want to try to increase to like $19.50. They raised the minimum wage in LA for restaurant workers to $20 an hour. Predictably, 40% of the restaurant jobs disappeared overnight because it's unsustainable to do that. It's the same thing. They keep pushing it. It doesn't matter how many times it's failed. They keep pushing because stupid people will vote for it because they believe in it. The reality has nothing to do. We're in a post-reality world here. And this guy comes in. He absolutely has no solutions for the way to pay for any of this. And I think that this is the plan all along. Just like every politician that comes in with our massive federal deficit does the same thing. Biden came in and blamed Trump. Trump came in and blamed Biden. They're both right because they both ran the fucking deficit up. So they're all right in blaming the person before them, but there's no actual solutions. There's no actual policy being put into place to fix it. It's just more promises, more spending, more deficits, and it's just it's ad infinitum. And these liberals in New York, like I was hoping that things would crash and burn spectacularly, and they still might. But you're already seeing him weasel out of it, and nothing's going to change. It's going to be business as usual, running the same deficits. It's going to be the exact same New York, except they've already lost a lot of the capital that was based there because of the threat of what he was going to do.
Well, he'll have his little token things that he'll point to, like one of his big thing was you didn't want anyone to have to pay for buses. So I'm sure he'll get some percentage of buses that are free, or he'll weasel in his certain little socialist agenda items that he can point to and say, "See, I'm making progress. Just elect me again, and we'll keep going." But I mean, if he probably, you guys are probably right. He probably did know that everything he campaigned on mostly was not possible, and now it's just kind of breaking that to the public. Now that they trust him, pivoting and just trying to survive and get reelected.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, by the way, this is a quick tangent. In Virginia, they, elected all these Democrats, moderate Democrats, and now they have 60 new tax bills. 60.
And people are having such buyer's remorse. I love it.
Yep. Congrats, Virginia.
What's that H.L. Mencken quote? Some democracy is the idea that the common person knows what they want and they deserve to get it good and hard.
Right. I love Mencken. I have a whole book of his quotes. Good toilet reading.
There you go.
You look at Virginia from a geographic perspective, and it's majority, like landmass wise, majority conservative, but you have that little pocket by DC which controls everything. So the hillbillies out in the mountains can't be very happy right now.
That's California. California is like 45% conservative because it's everywhere. As soon as you get out of any big city, it's conservative.
And that's the thing. Like, I think you want to talk about like a true tangible way to change our elections fundamentally would be to go like congressional district by congressional district. I think like just break it down that way, because that would just break up so much of the power structure with like these big blue cities in these states. And like I think you do, but from a state perspective, you have to have a conversation around like New York State, for example. Upstate New York, Northern New York is so fundamentally different than New York City. Like even Indiana, right? Like where I'm in Eastern Indiana, very different than Indianapolis. And you go to Chicago, like Chicago is very, very different than the rural areas surrounding there. There's actually counties that are trying to become part of Indiana from Illinois because they're so feeling represented or unrepresented by Illinois politics. And like, I think you guys are having, Bri, something up there with
there's
right?
there's been a secessionist movement to break up California into like the state of Jefferson.
Right, Jefferson, that's what it was.
Yeah, and I do it. Be all for it.
Yeah.
Of course, probably to screw me over more thoroughly, like, just get worse where I'm at. But yeah, break it up. It's ridiculous to have it, to be dominated by one monoculture that's so, again, blind to reality, and have it completely govern your state with no options. All right, next, moving on. The last thing here, and I heard this song played. I'm not going to play it because I don't feel like getting dinged. But Bruce Springsteen is
old.
He's so old.
Irrelevant.
And yes. Well, not to super liberals, because he has a new song, "Streets of Minneapolis."
Oh boy.
Yeah, like Streets of Philadelphia, but Minneapolis, and it's all about protesting really good, and it's pretty shot the street. Just the cringiest shit. I mean, the cringiest boomer shit. What I'd say is the man is a walking SNL skit. You couldn't write something more. I mean, SNL's coming around. They're actually kind of funny again, because the writing's on the wall that you can't just be a liberal shit rag anymore. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I mean, Bruce Springsteen. And I mean, number one, you look at Minnesota, and you remember the election, Ronald Reagan. There was the whole country was red except for Minnesota.
Yeah.
The only time, or the last time, that Minnesota voted Republican was for Richard Nixon. So Minnesota, like more so than even California, I think, for whatever reason, is just like deep blue, which is insane. Like why?
Why?
Like,
I've long wondered why. I don't get it. Why Minnesota?
But Bruce Springsteen, I mean, he was the first. I think it was the first concert I went to. I saw him with my parents at the old Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and the sound quality was so bad that, and he was just
that he sounded good.
The way that he sings, you couldn't understand anything that he was saying. And I casually, used to like Bruce Springsteen, but this thing where, just because I'm a musician or an actor or a celebrity, that my opinion carries more weight and I need to let everyone know about it.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Shut up and dance. Shut up and play sports. Shut up and sing. I don't care what your opinions are. You're good at one thing. You made money because you're good at one thing. You didn't make money because of your political opinions. Just stick to that. Stick to what you're good at.
So there's two things. One, I asked our friends over at Perplexity AI, not a sponsor. They say Minnesota's Democratic Party is the DFL, Democratic Farmer and Labor, which it was a mid-20th century merger of Democrats, left-wing farmers, and labor unions. And with that, they built a strong voting base that has carried through. Plus, Minnesota is more urban than suburban, with the Twin Cities holding a very strong Democratic bent, with St. Paul a little bit being offsetting for some Republican turnout. But otherwise, that's partly why. Second, going back to, just the idea of these boomer songs, right? Like the Bruce Springsteen mentality, it represents this overarching boomer perspective that has carried through the last election, and I think it's kind of on its dying breath, both just because people are so tired of it, but also just because like reality is hitting. You're at I think it's called the mortality cliff is what they're calling it. Like you had the baby boom and now them all dying. It's called the mortality cliff, I'm pretty sure. But like the idea that this is kind of their last hurrah, right? And you have this like this boomer mentality of like, we're fighting the good fight. We're like, it's first person syndrome. And I don't know, man. Like I think I think there's a lot of like Gen Zers, especially, and even Gen Alpha. They are so fucking jaded. Like they hate this shit, dude. They hate the boomer cringe, and like it's that radicalizes. Like I don't think people realize how much it actually pushes people the other way. For like every boomer who's like, "This is the best thing ever," the opposite ends up happening, where they're like, "Yeah, fuck this."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that again, that Springsteen made this song. It's the lamest. Anybody under the age of 40, I have to think, is just going to go, are you, what the hell is this crap? It's so lame. It's so, I mean, honestly, juvenile. That's what it strikes me. It strikes me as juvenile to be like, I mean, I changed the lyrics of my song to make a protest. So it's just like, man.
They think it's the 60s, bro. They think they're fighting the man. They think it's Vietnam. They think they're the resistance. They are the man, though, and that's the part they don't realize. Yeah. Like that whole counterculture thing only works when you are actually the counterculture, when you're the boomers and you control like a predominant number of the wealth and influence in our government. Like people look at you as part of the problem, if not the main cause of the problem. So they're like, oh, great, you're protesting. Huh. Well, let's see. Why was ICE in Minneapolis? Oh, because you guys fucked up the border. Oh, who fucked up the border? Oh, Bruce Springsteen and the boomers. Like, congratulations, you're the cause of the problem, and now you're the good guy for singing your protest song. It's like you started the fire, and now you're the hero for putting it out, or you're trying to put it out, or calling the guys who are putting it out. I guess that's what it is. You're calling the guys who are putting out the fire. You're calling them racist Nazis. So
didn't Billy Joel recently come out and like was more conservative? I swear to God, I remember something about this. I thought
Billy Joel's like really sick or something.
Yeah, did he have like a brain tumor or something?
So I think that's something serious wrong.
That's why he became conservative.
When he had a stroke, just all of a sudden becomes a Republican.
But there's something to this Bruce Springsteen thing where, like, he's a parody of himself. That it's like most people create a new song. Like you don't repurpose one of your biggest hit songs into something else to make it a political cry. It's embarrassing. He's tarnishing his career even more. Like it's just crazy.
It's like De Niro. It's the same thing. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, again, grandpa's off his meds again. You know, go Grandpa Simpson, man yells at cloud. It's like, that's the relevance you have, Bruce.
I'll tell you what, though, with De Niro, we have watched a couple of his recent Netflix movies. He's still good, still entertaining, you know.
Really? I find that very, very hard to believe.
I mean, I don't like him as a person, but
I haven't seen him in anything decent in the last 20 years.
He's just the old Italian guy. That's what he is.
Remember when he was like iconic in Meet the Parents?
That's the role he's continued playing that role. That's just what he plays.
Role. Yeah. Or old gangster that can't kick anymore. That's the other one.
Yeah. No, that's pretty accurate, which is actually really sad when you think about it. But like, also, didn't he just become a new dad?
That's sad.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, he's got like a kid that's easily under 3, I think.
Well, you know, not that I'm wishing death upon him, but, you know, for the kid's sake, hopefully he doesn't have to.
That's just gross and sad. Like, think about that.
I mean, let's not go that far. I mean, hey, when I'm 80, I'd like to be plowing sweet young things. As long as my wife's gone.
Talking about your plot of land, right?
Nice plot of farmland in Minnesota. That's where Brian
plants some peaches up in Minnesota.
Yeah, it is odd. I mean, honestly, that's one of those things where when old men have kids like that, I get, you're like, I'm still virile. I'm still pumping out. My wife wanted it. You're like, okay, but what a selfish act, because you're clearly not going to be around for this kid. You won't be. You know, that's a selfish thing. Mm-hmm. That kid's not going to have a dad. They'll have to remarry.
Sad. Well, liberals don't think of things that way. You know, they don't think of like, how can I positively impact things in my family and, you know, things directly. It's how can I force other people to give money to the government so we can use the government to make things better. So the government can be his dad.
It's that heat map.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. The heat map where it shows conservatives versus liberals and like where their priorities are based. Like conservatives was almost all based around their local caring, and then liberals, it was like global big picture kind of shit. Yeah.
It's the whole thing of the new mother with the 8-month-old baby strapping the baby on her back to go to an ICE protest in order to protest Somalians being deported.
Absolute psychopath. Who motherly instinct?
Gone.
What
Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist with these people. The motherly instincts for the Somalians, not for the baby they're putting in danger, like going to a protest.
Man, I mean, we talk about like weaponized empathy. This is suicidal weaponized empathy. Like, I just, and I'm not trying to be a catastrophist because I don't want to end the show this way. But like, what do you do with that mentality?
I don't know. Something has snapped. Something has broken in their brain, and I don't think you can connect it again. That's
I mean, I'd say the same thing. There's been a fundamental rewiring of, and specifically the female liberal brain that
I'm
is
seeing nurses I
is
went to
completely
college
unhealthy.
with promote like they're like I am Alex Pretti and like or Pretti, whatever the hell his name is, and like that could have been me. And then there's one girl, oh my god, my eyes rolled into the back of my head and around again. She had posted this thing and it was like, I am so thankful that I have a partner in my life who is so supportive of me during this very tough time. Ladies, there's the part. Oh my god,
He's like,
ladies,
the guy's like, don't tag me in that shit.
I know. Well, she did, but she's like, ladies, if you don't have that type of partner in your life, I'm here for you. My messages are open. And I'm like, oh my God, imagine thinking that you're such a good person that you would post that and not for a second think, am I the baddie? Like, holy, and she's a nurse, bro. Like, she's taking care of people. Like, I pray for somebody who's a conservative and comes in with like a pro-ICE, like, thing on their phone. Oh my Lord. Did you say that girl got fired? By the way, that chick that got fired from
it said she wouldn't like I won't give what was it, anesthesia to MAGA people.
Yeah, and like here's how easy it is to it was like create like some type of chemical that they could put on ICE protesters.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah, and she got fired. But
of course, like, what do these people think is going to happen? Of course, you're going to get fired.
That shows you how broken the brains
She's
are.
taking care of people. That's the part that's insane.
They think that they can just say anything and get away with it, and everybody agrees with them. It's like, no,
white privilege.
The only people who don't agree are Nazis. Like that's the whole thing. Like it goes back to the liberal woman who was interviewing Sydney Sweeney when she's like, well, Sydney, let me just give you the opportunity just to say that obviously you're not a racist Nazi, right?
And then that crooning.
Yeah.
Oh God, cringe. And I think the worst part is that we're all millennials here, right? So we can easily look at that type of person, like that person, and we all know exactly who that is in our own lives, or like in our own circle. Like, I went to college with that type of person, or I went to high school with that type of person, and it just I don't know how I don't say we ever go back, because I don't think we can ever go back, right? There's no going back where we are today. You can go forward in terms of addressing the situation, but like, what does that look like, right? And that's the part that I'm stuck on, because you can't have 30 million people come into the country illegally and then just be like, well, that's where we're at now. Like, you can't do that. There has to be some type of remediation, and it's not going to look good. And libertarians are going to freak out, right? Because there's going to be things that are going to be ugly. And like, but that's the thing. Like, you can't. It'd be like if I went to an organization and I was like, hey, we need to buy this really cool sales software. It's $1.5 million. It's going to put you in crazy debt, but I promise it's going to be great for you. And then they did it, and then it crushes them. And I'm like, wow, sorry, bye. Like, they'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
The only thing we can do now is really merge this software into our systems for good.
Right?
We gotta naturalize this software.
Double down. You got user adoption rates.
We
guys.
just need to buy more expensive software.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go into further debt, but like, that's where we're at right now. Like, they're like, no, sorry, you can't do anything. Like, you can't. No, you have to address this. You can't just be like, throw your hands up and be like, well, this is where we are now, and it's gonna be messy. Like, when those kind of things happen, you're gonna have budget cuts, right? Like, it's going to be staffing reductions. Those are just realities of dealing with what is happening before you. And like, that's where we're at. Like, you have to deal with where we're at in real life, not this like, well, here, maybe it'd be nicer if we were, able to think of a more humane way. Just stop thinking and start doing. Like, we've had decades to think And it's like the shit's hitting the fan now. Like 30 million people, that's real. That's a big number.
But when the ICE agent, when they're detaining and arresting a illegal pedophile, you know, I should be allowed to get in their face and spit at them and tell them to assault me and push them and shove them, and they shouldn't be allowed to touch me. And I can be open carrying the whole time, and it doesn't increase my risk of getting shot at all.
And like, what are you doing? What do you carry a gun like to a protest? Like, there's the useful idiot libertarians.
I think you should be able to carry a gun to a protest. By the way, protest a lot of shit go down.
Of course you should.
But you can't attack officers.
No.
Well, I mean, bearing the gun and not expect something to happen.
You can. If you want to put yourself in that risky situation, right. You can. I mean,
right. Like, what do you expect when you do that, right? Like, and this is the part where, again, I'm saying the useful idiots who are like, well, you know, explain why you have the right. Yes, you do. That's not the conversation. Is that the intelligent thing to do? And those are two different things. Well, he had the right to. That's great. I have the right to go carry a machine gun, or not a machine gun, like an AR-15 down my main street here. Do you think the cops are going to get some phone calls? And you think I'm going to get talked to? Of course I am, because I'm being an idiot. Right. And that's the thing. He was being an idiot, obviously. And this is the part where, like, libertarians, they like, I don't know why we have this incessant need not to defend communists. Right. That's not the thing there, but to defend obvious people who were just being stupid. Right.
Yes.
Like, you're just being an idiot. Don't defend somebody who was being an obvious idiot in this situation. Like, when there are real instances of people like the Daniel Shaver example, I keep on hearing that case brought up time and again, like, where are these people who used to defend Daniel Shaver? Because that's a quite obviously different situation. The context of that is completely night and day. You want to compare and contrast those? Let's go ahead and compare and contrast those. Like, was Daniel Shaver literally engaging physically with the officer? No, he was on his stomach, like with his hands over his head, right? Yeah. Alex Pretti was engaged physically with an armed officer while they're engaging in a law enforcement activity. What do you think's going to happen? Like, that's the thing. I'm sorry, Brian. I know you got to go, but like, it's just, it is bonkers to me. It is bonkers to me.
My time is short. No, exactly right, man. All right, let's end it on there. Brothers, I got to run.
By the way, R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara.
Oh,
she has passed away. R.I.P. Just come in my phone.
Oh,
Mom from Home Alone, Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, she wasn't that old.
71.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, Larry Sharp is running for governor as a Republican in New York.
Good.
And I'm going to have him on the show. So I'll let you know what we learned. I'm happy. I was like, Larry, go.
Gotta go.
Goodbye. I'm sorry.
I have to end the show. I have to go. All right. Bye, guys. Politics it up. Remember, follow us, subscribe. You can go to patreon.com/Lions of Liberty to join our Politicks Club or on Locals. All right. Later, guys. And everybody have a great weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Politics, more like politricks with your polipricks.
Oh, yeah.
Politics with your polipricks.